Like I said last time, we all know I am no fan of Donald Trump, but that doesn't mean I've lost my sense of humor or something. The 2024 election has come and gone. Trump has won his second term, and the amount of raw copium unearthed from the depths of Twitter and Reddit has actually been pretty hilarious. It really feels like it's 2016 all over again. Let me show you what I mean. Maybe some of you guys are too young to remember what the internet was like back then, but when Trump won the first time around, it was meme magic central. But more importantly, the leftoids said all of the same stuff they're saying right now. For example, check this out. All of you Nazis and freaks and subhuman pieces of shit aren't voting for us because you're too stupid to feel shame. Attached here is a poll showing that there's a correlation between higher education and voting Democrat. This tweet actually looks like it could have been posted in 2016. It's the same type of thing. Left-leaning people looking down on right-leaning people for not voting properly, calling them stupid, uneducated, shaming them, scolding them. How dare you not do what we want? But you know what? The ballot box is private. People will vote however they want. It's a well-documented effect that polls become less accurate the more political radicalization increases, as people tend to hide their real voting preferences. Hell, at least when I disagree with Trump supporters, I do so with raw data. These people have tried to nag them into submission for 8 years. Keep trying, guys, surely it'll work next time. Some of the really hardcore, far-left people, the communists who think the Democrats are a right-wing party, that they're controlled opposition for the Republicans. Those guys have been blasting anyone who is not leftist enough, blaming them for the electoral failure. Yeah, that's right, guys. If only the media was even more unbiased in your favor. If only the Democrats went even further left, despite progressives being one of the most annoying and disliked political factions right now, this could have all been avoided. This take is actually insanity. One of the many reasons people abandoned the Dems this time around is because of a litany of retarded prog positions that Kamala took up during her career. And of course you have people like Alyssa Mercante blaming gamers for Trump's victory. Of course she does. Like I said, it's 2016 all over again. Back then you heard in the same breath, Gamergate, Brexit, Trump over and over and over again. Gamergate caused Brexit, Gamergate caused Trump, gamers are right-wing bigots, the whole thing. Now that the majority of my election-related hardcore research is over, I'm gonna have to do a video or two on this person's black hole brain career. The progressive hatred of nerds and nerd culture is a nice bridge into the progressive hatred of, well, anyone who didn't fall in line. Check out this clip from MSNBC.
Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. The Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before, a lot of Hispanic voters have problems with black candidates.
Yes, that's what it is. It's bigotry. Can't be anything else. It can't be Kamala's unlikability or her association with a government that oversaw record inflation, whether that was Biden's fault or not. No, the only possible explanation is that America is a nation of misogyny. We're actually out here reheating 2010 feminism, boys. I can't wait for the YouTuber bedroom reply genre to come back too. Any person who's online saying, she lost because she's a woman, is probably somebody who still can't actually define the word woman, which pretty much tells you all that you need to know. In actuality, it's bigoted of these people to assume that minorities would simply march in lockstep with them solely because they're minorities. For example, check out these posts of progressives blasting Latinos for not voting properly over on Reddit. Trump won the largest proportion of Latino men versus Kamala than any other time in his career, which shouldn't surprise anyone. A whole bunch of us online have been saying, myself included, that Latinos are a natural Republican voter base due to their Catholicism and their family values-oriented culture. The Democrats expected their unthinking, undying loyalty simply because they have brown skin. And of course, Trump is apparently a white supremacist. But in reality, that's not how these things work. You know what? I guess you guys shouldn't have called them Latinx. Actually, Reddit is a gold mine right now. The Jannies of various subreddits are banning people for supporting Trump or his agenda, or even for saying that Project 2025 won't happen. Redditors are saying this is worse than 9/11, that women have to go on a sex strike, there are relationships disintegrating on Reddit due to the election. Hell, this one guy here, he was apolitical. He wasn't gonna vote, he didn't really care who won, he didn't care about the issues, he just wanted to get on with his life. And his girl raged at him and dumped him. Talk about dodging a bullet. Of course, there are also plenty of TikTok showcasing this stuff too.
Stupid fucking whore! So I'll just shut the fuck up! I'll just shut the fuck up for good now, huh? Yeah, you fucking want that? Yeah? We are fucking over, you fucking dumbass! I hope that you choke on a piece of concrete and literally go to hell. I will see you in fucking hell, you fucking asshole, you fucking liar, you fucking manipulator, you goddamn wish you would have played your cards right with me, you fucking asshole!
But I covered most of those yesterday. I saved that one for today as a bonus. And yeah, that guy dodged a bullet too. Holy shit. Possibly the most egregious example of Reddit soy is from r/comics, where a trans woman who felt anxiety about immigrating to the US was comforted by a commenter. "You'll be fine, don't worry too much. It'll only end up stressing you out." He got banned for that. He got banned for comforting somebody who was losing their mind over the election in a comics subreddit. He wasn't supporting Trump, he wasn't being insulting or anything, he was simply saying, "It'll be okay," and he got banned. That is actually probably the saddest thing of all. Not just that there are people out there who are losing their minds, but that they demand everyone lose their minds over this. Right before the election, a whole bunch of people claimed that they were going to kill themselves if Trump won. And listen, if you're a random person, don't just kill yourself. Yeah, I personally don't care if Rob Reiner actually self-immolates, or Bono actually drives his car off a cliff, like they both threatened to do. But for everyone else, it's not that bad. This stuff's getting out of hand. In fact, one person actually did this. This guy killed his wife, his ex, his 2 kids, and himself out of a fear of a second Trump presidency. Trump might be a bad president, but it's not worth killing yourself over, guys. Life goes on. I think the reason for this is largely because trans people have psyoped themselves into believing they're going to be hunted down and put into camps and genocided, which is ridiculous. I don't think that's going to happen. Trump has publicly stated he's going to ban transitioning for minors, but not for adults. For individual liberty reasons, I personally think banning transitioning for adults is beyond the pale. People should be left alone to do whatever they like in that regard. However, the trans activists view any sort of pushback, even on the most minor stuff that they're clearly wrong about, like maybe trans women shouldn't play women's sports because they're biologically male. They treat that statement like they're about to be fucking exterminated, which is simply mass hysteria. Of course, despite the seriousness of suicide, there is still some funny stuff to come out of the trans cope, like those people who were setting up a trans safe house. God, I've done videos on those before. You can smell them through the fucking screen, dude. Or there was that one person who sat down to watch the Home Alone series in order to relax on election night because they just couldn't take the stress anymore, only to get to the Trump scene in Home Alone 2. Okay, that's really funny, but there's no way this is real, right? And then there are all the celebrities who declared they're moving to Canada if Trump wins. A huge list of them this time. Not just the self-deleters like Bono and Reiner, but of course we all know none of them are actually going to uproot from their Beverly Hills mansion and move up here to the Great White North. Why? Because they all said the same thing in 2016. Like I said back at the beginning of the video, it is 2016 all over again. Progressives believed they had achieved cultural hegemony, they were shoving a ton of garbage down everyone's throats. Meanwhile, economic problems began to creep in, way worse this time than last time to be fair, and all they did was scream racist, sexist, homophobe, bigot, Nazi, and hope that everyone would simply fall in line. And like 2016, they didn't. There are good reasons to not like Trump, but never underestimate the power of spite. The overwhelming masculine urge to spit in the face of the person who looks down on you. That is not all of why Trump won, but that is a part of it, I think. In fact, I will do a more in-depth video going over all the reasons Kamala Harris lost the election in the near future. But here is the surface-level analysis. The lower class is kept happy by bread and circuses. We all know that old quote. Well, the bread got too expensive and the circuses stopped being entertaining. It's the economy and it's culture. I personally think the economy is the stronger variable of the two by far, but don't count culture out either. On the cultural side, there's a lot of variables here. But let's tackle the obvious one, since men of all types are swinging for Trump right now. Young men currently lack a truly positive voice. Andrew Tate is a pimp, abuser, and all-around scumbag, an actual avatar of real toxic masculinity, if there ever was one. Jordan Peterson, at least circa 2015, was Keno, but he's kinda gone off the deep end in his post-Benzo arc. Joe Rogan, now, for all the criticisms of his operation, that is a guy who understands that men have real issues, and those issues are being ignored by the left at their own peril. The Democrats need a center-left Joe Rogan type, but as long as progressives dominate the left, they will never understand this, nor will they accept it. Men are people, believe it or not. They have issues unique to them as a class that those who are not men will never face and never understand. As long as the progressives keep demonizing them and viewing them as their mortal enemy, men will never be won over. If they keep crying patriarchy, they will keep losing. It's as simple as that. On the economic side, it's a lot easier. Americans tend to use their vote for president to express displeasure at the incumbent during a crisis, whether or not it's actually their fault. In 2020, it was simple. COVID bad, Trump president, therefore you vote for the other guy. In 2024, it's equally simple. Inflation bad, Biden president, therefore you vote for the other guy. The fact that they did a last-minute palette swap to Kamala didn't really break the formula in any meaningful way. If there were no economic troubles, Biden's administration would probably not have been so drastically abandoned by the voter base. Anyway, now that Trump's won, apparently everyone's going into the crystals. That's right, the Project 2025 MAGA stormtroopers have already begun to march across the continent, sealing every libtard into a soul gem of their size and color preference. So this meme started when somebody posted a chud jack inside of a soul crystal from Elder Scrolls, due to the perception that leftoids like to eat the bugs and live in the pod. And crystals are a pod, right? Like most memes, it blew up due to its simplicity and absurdity. Characters getting trapped inside crystals is a pretty common video game trope, so people began reposting tons of edits from various video games, like the whole get me out of this whack-ass crystal thing from Warframe, or those girls who were trapped in crystals in Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. But unlike 2016, now we have AI, so the internet is also currently getting flooded with hilarious images of Donald Trump, the Crystalmancer, ready to imprison all of his political opponents, adding them to his actual real-life crystal collection, which he tweeted about back in 2011. I'm not making this up. And yeah, this all probably means I'm going in the crystal too, aren't I? It's okay. As long as you and a bro charge me up by mutually masturbating together, I think I'll be able to live out my sentence.
Alright libtard. Time to get inside the crystal for 10,000 lunar cycles.